Hello everyone, as always I'm the Aussie Gamer and today I'll be reviewing Scott Pilgrim vs. the World video game. Now, before I begin, for those of you that aren't aware, this game is based off of the comic book series, not the motion picture recently released starring Michael Cera. It is available for you guys to download either from Xbox Live Marketplace or the PlayStation Store and is roughly about $10 Australian. But enough of the introductory stuff, I'm sure you're all eager to see what I think of this game. Well, let's get cracking. The story in Scott Pilgrim is widely well known, and you probably just saw it in the opening for this review, but for those of you that don't know, let me summarise it for you. Scott Pilgrim falls in love with a girl called Ramona Flowers. However, as they begin to date, Scott realises that in order to continue dating Ramona, he must first defeat her several even exes in a fight to the death. You know, your typical boy meets girl, boy likes girl, boy fights girl's numerous ex-boyfriends in a fight to the death, you know, the ordinary everyday stuff. We've all been through it. So that is the story, ladies and gentlemen. I feel as though the game is targeted at existing fans of the comic book series, or at least those of you that have seen the actual movie, as it doesn't necessarily make mention to the story much other than in the first initial intro animation. Everything else is left up to the fans to remember as they progress through the game. Now, something I love about this game is that it's kind of a throwback to the old school era, when 8-bit and 16-bit games were the shit, and if you didn't own a SNES or a Genesis, you weren't cool. The graphics in this game look like something you'd expect to see coming out of the mid-90s, and I personally love the effect it gives to the game. In a world where graphics are almost lifelike, this feels like a refreshing change of pace. The animations in this game are very smooth, with particular emphasis going to the fighting animations. They're awesome. The frame rate remains consistent, which is a plus as quite a lot goes on at once, and there are times where you are fighting a large number of on-screen foes. In general, the retro-style graphics in this game are fluent, colourful, vibrant, and definitely pay homage to the comic book. Of course, in keeping with the retro era, there is no voice acting in this game. Meh, who cares? However, complementing the retro style graphics is one killer of an old school 8-bit soundtrack to complement almost every scene of the game. The bit rock style music is simply awesome and is definitely something the game has going for it. Without it, this game would practically cease to exist. Sound effects are also done very well, with every punch, kick, groan and hammer smash sounding very cool and adequately satisfying. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up and definitely plays as one. You can choose 4 different characters: Scott, Kim, Stills, and Ramona. Each have their own fighting style and special abilities that can give you the edge in a fist fight. You play across several stages as you punch, kick, and headbutt the living shit out of any poor unfortunate soul that happens to step into your path. Each stage is accompanied by an end boss, which is needless to say one of Ramona's 7 evil ex-boyfriends, and each are very fun to fight. The controls are easy enough to understand, meaning anyone can pick up and play, and the game has very solid fighting mechanics. You can play solo or with up to 3 friends in local co-op, which of course is much more fun. However, for some reason there is no online cooperative capability. May I ask why not? I mean, I know we're going for the whole 90s era of gaming look and feel, but we live in the fucking 20th century and people like to play online. So the game loses points there in my opinion. As you progress through the game, you will earn money that you can use to upgrade your character's stats, namely strength, speed, willpower and defense. This is a must if you plan on actually finishing the game. If you don't upgrade your character at all, expect to get your ass handed to you. This game is adequately challenging. Even on the average Joe difficulty you can expect things to get hard. Very hard. And there will be moments where you will yell, curse and throw a tantrum as you're killed by the end boss and have to start the stage from the very beginning. Checkpoints would have been a nice touch, but hey, it's certainly nothing to write home about. The game isn't without its bugs either. On a number of occasions I found the actual software froze and I had to restart the system in order to keep playing. Additionally, the game really isn't that long. I mean, once I got used to it, I managed to beat the game in under 5 hours. However, that was on the average Joe difficulty. I now plan on returning to it and attempting to beat the game on the Supreme Master difficulty. Wish me luck. In summation, I honestly believe that despite some shortcomings, Scott Pilgrim the game is a must-buy for fans of the Scott Pilgrim comic series, the movie, or any other side-scrolling beat-em-up. With solid fighting gameplay, an old-school look and feel that will please any gamer, and an awesome soundtrack, it's a very satisfying, fast-paced beat-em-up that will have you coming back for more and more and more.